Spielberg's best film in some years is The Fabelmans, an audaciously autobiographical exploration of Spielberg's, one of the most influential people alive or even ever, impressionable, formative childhood and adolescent memories. In a way, it couldn't help but be more intrinsically compelling than much of the trite Spielberg has unleashed upon us in the 21st century. He certainly felt passionate and sincere about this piece. Catch Me If You Can in the Terminal, a lanky, awkward comedic embarrassments. War of the Worlds is an unbelievably uneven letdown. Tom Cruise's plot armor is just unpalatable, way too distracting. Crystal Skull, yikes. I didn't like Last Crusade that much either. What overly sentimental barf. Warhorse. Oh no, not the horsey. Never mind the millions of young men that had died and essentially crippled Europe for decades. Oh, the poor horsey. The other day I was on a bus, almost late to an appointment. Try finding parking in metropolitan Sydney, I dare you all, and I noticed the bus slowing down. This bus had been after 2 strikes. 2 didn't arrive. Why were they scheduled? And I noticed why the bus was stopping, and I thought, was slowing down rather, and I thought, the windows are unable to do this. I thought to roll the windows of this bus down and cry out, "Excuse me, sorry officers, could you get your horsies off of the road please? Maybe just briefly." Crikey, the horsies are only there so those brutes can intimidate people. The only people who become police in Australia are Liberal Party voting frat boy jack-offs and certain completely ignorant women who want to look good in uniform, and do, to be totally fair. So yeah, stop being sentimental over the horsies. They are a weapon of war and violence, and the elitist upper class, not an endangered or threatened species, JCIS. Oh, and then Tintin, according to Noel Oakeshott, it's a masterpiece and the only Spielberg movie he likes. That man adores Tintin, utterly cherishes it. I neglected to mention AI Minority Report and Munich. Those ones I do like, though Munich I may just brush off on principle now. Free Palestine, nothing justifies genocide, not ever. Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, BFG, The Post, boring, and Ready Player One was about marginally interesting aesthetically, though to my understanding is just based on what must be quite abominable, worthless, disgusting source material, to be quite honest. West Side Story, I Want to Live in America, no you do not. One of the most obvious bombs in recent history. Fabelmans, quite good. And believe it or not, you won't. If you haven't seen the film, not grossly sentimental. No. There is some inherent sentiment, but sentimental? For once with Spielberg, at least of late, no, I wouldn't say so. Why I don't like sentimentality is because it is intrinsically navel-gazing. Ah, my experiences, my life story, listen to my timeline, ah, me, my memories, me, my life story is important. Yes, indeed, it is subtly elitist and thoroughly condescending to the idea that we are all valuable or unique, in an odd roundabout manner. Why should your own memories be granted such special value, especially if you just grew up in a comfortable suburb? You weren't struggling in the third world or suffering from trauma or abuse, and you're just verbally jerking off over your doting parents, well, more or less. But The Fabelmans was too honest and close to heart, too many hurtful memories and real feelings, authentic sincere feelings, to be that narcissistic psychological trap known as sentimentality, contrived, ugly, trite sensation. Not an outstanding piece of work, but rather admirable. Certainly is overlong, 2.5 hours. Of course one wants to make their formative years a grandiose epic, but it runs the risk of being navel-gazing, which I'll mildly forgive because Spielberg is absolutely such an important individual in world history now, but only due to this factor, really.